Hey guys, Realtor Ray here. Wanted to talk to you about finishing your basement. Is it a good decision? Is it a bad decision? Kind of depends. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll know when other videos come out. There's some that are lower and some that are higher, but on average, it costs about $50 per square foot to finish a basement. One of the most important things you can think about when finishing your basement is, are you going to do it yourself or are you going to hire a professional basement finisher? Somebody that is contracted, that is licensed. You want to make sure that you're getting your space permitted. It's very, very important, not only for you as you have your home and as you enjoy your basement being finished, but when you go for resale, if you finish your basement and you do not get it permitted, it could actually affect you negatively later when you go to sell the home. If the buyer finds out during the inspection or during the inspection, it is discovered that the basement is not permitted, it could definitely negatively affect you. So if you do finish your basement, hire a professional and get the basement permitted. One of the things you may not know is if you have a bedroom in the basement, there needs to be an egress window or like a sliding glass window. There needs to be an egress or an exit point if there were a fire or an emergency, that a basement bedroom has to have the ability to exit the home. It's called an egress. Usually it's called an egress window. If it's a window, it needs to be able to be accessible and be able to leave the property. Or if you're going to walk out, maybe a sliding glass door or something to where it's easily accessible for somebody to leave the property in an emergency. When thinking of finishing your basement, you really have to look internally. Are you just finishing your basement due to the fact that you want resale value, or are you finishing it for your own enjoyment? On average, maybe you get about 70 to 75%, depending on your location and the finishes that you use for finishing your basement. So you're gonna get about 70% maybe of your return on investment of what you invest in that basement remodel. You wanna make sure that the basement reflects the rest of the house. If your basement maybe is higher quality than the rest of your house, I'm not sure that really will work out very well. You want your basement to reflect basically a continuation of the rest of your home. If you're going to DIY, make sure that you get the basement permitted. You hire general contractors to do the work, licensed electricians, licensed plumbers, making sure that everything is legit, not only for the value of your home, but also just because of the safety of your home. You want to make sure that all the electrical and plumbing and everything is up to snuff, and your space is not only enjoyable, but it's also safe for your family for years to come. The cost of the basement can definitely fluctuate based upon the framing and the actual design of the structure of how you want the basement to look. Like walls, or do you want a bar? If you're moving plumbing, if you have a cement basement, they have to tear that out. If you're adding a high-end quartz or marble or high-end carpet, things like that, the actual finishes will matter, and they can be really good, but just know that there's the structural side, and then when you get to the finishing, depending on the actual design of what you want, it can be relatively expensive. If the reason for you finishing your basement is kind of twofold, is that you want to have that resale value added to your home because you want the house to be more valuable because you're adding square footage to it, that's great. As well as if you just want the enjoyment of, if you have a mother-in-law that comes, or maybe you have children that are going off to college, maybe when they come home, you just want them to have their own space. I mean, having a finished basement seems to be more and more common, and that more and more people want a property to have a finished basement. If the basement is finished but is not finished in high quality and is not finished correctly, sometimes it can be a deterrent. Someone can come in the home and they can see that maybe it was done by yourself and that maybe you didn't do as great a job as other people, that maybe you would have done it professionally. A lot of times when you walk into a finished basement, you can tell if it was somebody that maybe did it themselves or professionally. So just be careful, because if you do finish it yourself and it doesn't maybe meet the requirements at a later point of the buyer, it could be a deterrent on the selling of your home because they don't really feel like the quality was there. And that's what I also said about getting it permitted. It's very, very important. If you had a property and did not have it permitted and you go to sell the property, and through the inspection there's issues and things that are found, you don't want that to happen to you. You want to make sure that everything is correct from the very beginning, and that way you can enjoy the property, enjoy the finished basement, and it will add value to your home. All in all, depending on the motivation that you have, finishing out a basement can be a great option for a home, for adding value to the home, as well as your enjoyment of the home while you're living there. You just need to make sure that you finish the basement with the same type of materials and the same type of look and feel that the rest of the home has, just to be contiguous and have a nice flow. And then the second thing that's very, very important is that I would not recommend anybody ever finishing their basement if they did not get it permitted. I think that's just a standard thing, just to make sure that it's safe, and that whether currently living in the home or if you at a later point go to sell it, that everybody knows that it has been signed off on and it has been approved by the county, and that it is actually a permitted space. If you are going to finish your basement, it's very important to hire someone that you trust and that you've looked at their work. Ask lots of questions. Go and preview a couple homes that they have completed. Look at line by line of what they're going to actually give you for that cost. Make sure that you know the timelines. How long is actually going to take for them to finish your basement? How are they going to come and go from the property? Are they going to be coming and going from a window? Those are questions that are very, very important if you're going to ask someone, how is it going to take? How are they going to clean up after themselves? Will there be a roll-off big trash dumpster in the front of your house? How long is this going to take? How loud is it going to be? What kind of communication will they be giving you? Will they be giving you daily updates, weekly updates? How will they be communicating to you? Is it via text? Is it via email? Will they just come and knock on your door and do a walkthrough with you every week? You really need to set the expectations and understand and make sure that you over communicate with them and that they over communicate to you, to make sure that this is going to be a relationship and that the actual finished product is going to be something that you're very happy with, and that the money that you spent on the finishing of their basement that you're happy with, and that they have done a good work for you. In the description, I'll put a couple companies that I know are reputable in the local area, and is actually finishing a basement is something that I personally am thinking of doing in my own home. So we'll see if I tackle that in the future. Hopefully you found this information valuable. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.